A pleasant good evening to everyone present over here. May I audible? Participants?
Yes, sir. Audible.
Yeah, thank
Good
you.
evening, sir.
A pleasant good evening to everyone present over here. A wonderful day of day 2 session with our today's chief guest engineer K.S.Rangasamy, Senior Manager, Shobha Realty LLC, Dubai, on the topic fire hazards, impact and mitigations. A short note about today's chief guest. Engineer K.S.Rangasamy is a Senior Quality Manager at Shobha Realty LLC, Dubai, with over 12 years of experience in the residential construction industries, with around 9 years in UAE and 3 years in India. He is specialized in quality management and technology in construction projects, coordinating quality assurance across multiple large-scale developments. His expertise includes technical documentations, quality control, and process standardizations. He has been recognized for his contributing, winning the Game Changer Best Employee Award in the year of 2024. He is proficient in industry softwares like PlanGrid, Autodesk Construction Cloud, and Primavera. Krivaran holds a bachelor's of degree from civil engineering from K.S.Rangasamy. He has completed his certifications including ISO's 9001 internal auditor training. His career spans roles in project engineering and quality management, working with firms like AI, Mazia Real Estate, Maiden Shobha Developers, and Mahindra Lifespan Developers. With this short note, we will start our today's session. I request all the participants to switch on the camera for a photo session. Kirvaran sir, you too kindly switch on your camera.
Good evening, all.
Good evening, sir. Dear participants, kindly switch on your camera so that we will have a photo session and we will start our program. Thank you, participants. Kirvaran sir, now the meeting is open to you.
Okay. Good evening, all.
Good evening.
Yeah. So today we are into our session. I'll share my screen. Today I'll be taking about fire hazards, impact, and mitigation, which we will cover the basic things. I'll not go much into the deep. I'll explain about the basic fire hazard details and the impact and what are the mitigations which can be done. And from our side, like especially in the construction industry, so what are the measures we are taking during the construction and after we are handing over to the clients or the residents who are going to stay in that particular building? So what are the measures we are been taking it? And I will share some live examples, live case study, and there are some drawings which we are following here in Dubai. So that drawings also I will show as a reference to have some idea what we are doing here. Next one. Yeah. So as Mr. Bari sir, Abdul Bari sir has already explained, myself, Kribavaran Ardhanari, I completed my bachelor's degree in civil engineering from KSRCT in the year 2012. Currently, I'm working as a senior manager in Shobha Realty in the quality and technology department in Dubai. So I have more than 12 years of experience and presently in Dubai for more than 10 years and 2.5 years I worked in India. I expertised or I have experience in the residential constructions, especially in the the high-rise buildings, villas, and mansions. Uh, Currently, I'm into quality and technology department, which covers the quality assurance and the technological improvements in the construction industry. Basically, we do some cloud computing, means the audit using the cloud technologies and some advanced materials and technologies which can be used in the construction industry. So previously, I have experience in the project management and project execution as well. So today our topic is about fire hazards, impact, and mitigation. So we'll start the session with understanding the fire hazards and what are the key points we are going to cover during this particular session. So the first thing is definition of the fire hazards. So the fire hazards are the conditions or the materials that can ignite and leading to the fires. So that's the basic thing. And what are the importance of fire hazard awareness? So recognizing the fire hazard is crucial so that we can do some safety measures like preventive measures which can avoid those fire hazards, or if for any unforeseen situations or the circumstances, if it is happening also, the safeguarding of the people and the material and the product is very important. So for that, what are the measures we can take? Preventive measures, and if at all it happens, like what we can, how we can mitigate. So that are the important things. Then impacts of fire hazards. So once the fire hazard is happened, so what can happen? It can be a loss of life, property damage, or the environmental harms. So we will go in detail about each topic, but as a brief, like what are the key points which we are going to cover in this particular session. Then fire safety management. So we need to understand the fire hazards and the impact so that we can effectively manage the fire. So that is very important. What are the preventive strategies we are using? Implementing the preventive measures reduces the risk of fire accidents. That is very important. So what are the preventive strategies, like during the construction and after the construction and during the occupation of the residence? So what are the preventive strategies we can use, and the mitigation techniques? So if at all it happens, then how we can mitigate and how we can safeguard the people and the property and the environment. So those things we will cover it. Then moving on to the next one. So understanding the different fire hazards. So I'll just give you an overview. So there are a couple of factors. One is like electrical hazards. That is a major thing which plays the role. The faulty wiring or overloaded circuits or the damaged appliances which can ignite the fires. So that is a electrical hazard. There are items or the materials which can lead into fire, like flammable liquids, flammable gases, or the reactive chemicals. Like if some chemicals, which couple of chemicals.
Sorry for the interruption. Is there any problem in the presentation?
I think some participants' mic is on.
Sir, yeah, it has been muted, sir.
Yeah, yeah, okay. Shall I continue?
Yeah, you can proceed.
Yeah, thanks. So, like as I said, like the flammable liquids or the gases or some chemicals needs to be stored separately. If it reacts, it can lead into fire or the explosion. So those items are called as chemical hazards. Then we have environmental hazards like the vegetation, the uncontrolled or untreated vegetation, let's say, and the wildfires and insufficient fire breaks, which can lead into a bigger danger. We have a live example in the year 2025, which is like our US wildfire, which has a huge impact in the US market. We will come to that. We have I have some information about that particular incident or the accident. So we will brief into that one also. So the type of fire hazards. So identifying various sources of fire risks. Okay. First thing is the flammable material. So such as like we are using the gasoline, we are using the wood, textiles, and which can ignite the fires. So those things are called flammable materials. The proper handling of the flammable materials, the proper storage of the materials is very important in order to avoid the fire hazards. Then we have the electrical hazards. So electrical hazards like the faulty wiring or the overloaded circuit or the improper appliances, which can result into the electrical fires, which often spread rapidly and unpredictably. Correct. So that's the thing. So if routine maintenance or routine checking of the electrical things in terms of the wirings or the appliances or the switches, which need to be monitored on a regular basis, so that and maintained on a regular basis, so that we can easily avoid the electrical hazards. Then we have the chemical hazard. As I said, like there are chemicals which are like highly flammable, and especially in the construction industry, we are using a lot of flammable chemicals which are stored in the specific area during construction, because like shuttering oil or the adhesives or the grouting materials, those are the things uh, which can be like a can lead to the fire. So those things has to be stored in a proper location and segregated manner, and it has to be properly labeled, and it has to be properly cleaned and stored, stacked in a proper way to avoid any explosion. And especially we are in a region like the Gulf region, we are in the Dubai, so here we have a high risk factor because of the summer, like the overheat. Here in Dubai, we have a temperature which can go up to 55 to 60 degrees Celsius, which is like very, very, very high. And during the midday, like around 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, the intensity of the temperature is very, very high. So during those periods or during those summer seasons, we need to be very much careful, and we need to store the materials in a proper way, and we need to protect it also in a proper way. And we have for the final case, the final factor is the most common thing which we all face, like the human factors, the human behaviors, the carelessness of the people or the carelessness of the laborers, which can lead into a major accident. So we need to train those people, and we need to give them a proper awareness. So that is very important. So understanding the causes. So human error, as I said, like the statistics has has revealed that more than 50% of the fires are attributed due to the human activities. So, and the underscoring the need of public awareness. Okay, the people are either not properly trained, or the awareness is not being given, or the people are careless. The behavior of the people, which can lead into some major accident. So that is the main thing. Then we have equipment failure and natural causes, which like we can avoid if proper maintenance and proper carrying of the things are done in a proper way. Then we can avoid those kind of fire hazards. Next, we can come to the significant consequences of fire hazards. Yeah. So the first thing is loss of life. So on any case or any factor, we don't want loss of any life. So that is the first thing, but that is the most significant consequences of the fire hazard. Fire accidents result in thousands of fatalities annually, highlighting the urgent need for the victims. Yes, correct. And we have the property damages. So economically, it can affect the individuals or the society and the nation as well. So if, for example, we can take the US. So there is a major fire, and which led to the entire country's economy. It is like going in the wrong direction, because the amount of damage which caused by this wildfire is like unimaginable. So we don't want that. Then environmental effects. So wildfires devastate ecosystems and contribute to the air pollution, impacting the wildlife and the human health. So the environmental, so the wildlife and the air pollution, the quality of the air due to the fire accidents is like, it's like huge. It's not like the thing, okay, it is only fire, then it happened, but it is not the case. So once the burning is happening, the toxic gases are being exhausted. So those things can lead into further complications like breathing issues, the respiratory diseases. So all those things can contribute. So the impact, the economic losses, the environmental damage, the human health risks, and the psychological effects. So economic losses, as we discussed, it can burden the individual by the properties and the loss of the people. Environmentally, it can lead to the wildfires, and the structural fires that can degrade the oil, air, soil, and water quality. And the human health risks, we have the long-term health issues such as the respiratory issues due to the smoke inhalation. So that can affect like a long term. It's not like, okay, one day it happened and next day it will be cured or something. So it will be a long-term effect due to the inhalation and the psychological effects. So the trauma, the psychological trauma, which can cause like which can happen due to any such major accidents, it needs to be taken care. It is not like a day's job or something. It will take months and years to be recovered from that particular trauma. So one small case study which we all seen in our from the media. So in the earlier 2025 in the month of January, and we had a huge wildfire in US, especially in the Southern California area, Los Angeles and the metropolitan cities of San Diego County. So there was the major fire. So the key facts are, so we have more than 29 people were killed. So it's not the accurate number. So some facts from the media. More than 200,000 people are being evacuated. So they are forced to evacuate. Structures, more than 18,000 homes and structures were destroyed. Area burned. It is like more than 57,000 of acres of land is being burned. So the key facts are like very this itself it's scary because more than 200,000 people are forced to evacuate from their own residences. It is not the easy case, and the structures are destroyed. More than 18,000 homes are being destroyed. So here, quick fact. So this being okay, I can come to that point here. Okay, these fires were exacerbated due to drought conditions, low humidity, vegetation built up from the previous winter, and hurricane force like the wind. It is more than 100 miles per hour in some areas. And here is a fact: in US, I have a colleague here who worked in US, so he has explained me this why this wildfire it cost so much. So one is that the area was so dense and it was near to a very dense forest area, and the structures are being built with only wooden. Most of the homes, like 95% of the homes and the structures were built with only wood. There were like very like less than 1% of the structures are being built by the concrete. There was a photo like in Twitter. I don't know how many of you seen. There was a photo. There are rows of houses, more than 20-25 homes were there, all being destroyed except one particular home. All were built by wood. Only that one building which was not destroyed was built with concrete. So that was the picture. It was there in Twitter. So it is an interesting fact. Okay, so they have been using wood since many years for their construction, but now they are taking the US system, the US people. They are thinking about constructing with the concrete. So that is our one of the major thing which they have concluded. And the density, the adjacent homes, the distance between the adjacent homes were very less. So the fire was able to transport from one building to another building was very easy, and the amount of the sprinklers or the water availability for controlling the fire, it was very less. Actually, I have mentioned that point. It was due to the drought conditions. So they have expected these kind of fire, but they were actually planned to build some area with a huge reservoir to have the water facility in order to face such huge fire. But unfortunately, due to their political conditions and their transfer of the authority and all, they were not able to fill those reservoirs as of now. But in the coming days, hopefully they will have those reservoirs with enough quantity of water so that they can, if not, okay, it should not happen in the coming years. Even then, if it is happening, they should have that condition to mitigate those fires. Okay. Next is the case study. Slab formwork fire accident, Chennai 2023. It was my personal experience. I was there in Chennai in the year 2013. I was working in a construction company wherein I was in charge of a particular block. Uh, there, the slab formwork, normally we use the plywood and the steel materials. So the slab was ready, the shuttering was completed, and the reinforcements were done. The inspections, the quality check, everything is completed. In the night, we were supposed to concrete that particular slab, but due to some reason, we were not able to get the concrete. So the concrete pouring is shifted to the next day morning. So we all went back home, and during night, like midnight, 12 o'clock, we got a call that our slab is on fire. So we all rushed back, and unfortunately, it was all like eaten up. So the fire was already spreaded too much. The entire slab was on complete fire. Uh, we did the firefighting, but unfortunately, we were not able to save any of the property. So all the property is damaged. The formwork materials, the reinforcement, everything is destroyed. We had to chip those concretes again, and we have to do those things. But here, the things which I wanted to explain, we need to identify the means we need to learn from our mistakes. So what we did in this particular case is, so there were some issues. So, okay, so there were some risk factors or the things which we have identified, which we corrected in the all coming concretes. All for all coming days, we have corrected those mistakes. So the first thing is the concrete curing. So for the verticals or the columns or the pillars, so once the concrete is completed, then we cover with the hessian cloth, and during the slab formwork, the hessian cloths were supposed to be removed, but it was not removed in our case. That is the first mistake. Then the second thing is the shuttering oil, which is being applied on the top of the plywood, which helps in removing the plywoods easily after the concrete is set. That was supposed to be used, so we have used it. But uh, the the characteristic of the shuttering oil is flammable. So we need to be very highly careful in that case, which was not done. That is the second mistake. Then we had the third mistake, the halogen lights. So which we have used in the means underneath the slab decking to have the checkings. Like if the concrete is happening during the nights, then we need to have the lights to check underneath the slab formwork, which was kept, but the concrete was cancelled. So the lights were supposed to be switched off, and the wirings has to be checked, which was not done. That is the third mistake. So ultimately, we found that the fire was initiated by the halogen lamps and the electrical circuits, and the fire got spread due to the hessian cloth which was wrapped around the columns, and it maximized its effect due to the shuttering oil which is applied on the top of the formwork. So that is the entire case of the our fire accident, which I have personally experienced in the year 2013. So the slab was on fire and the entire thing is like damaged. The entire reinforcement we cannot use because it was in the fire. So the reinforcement has to be taken away and thrown out. And the columns which was burnt with this fire has to be chipped off in the from the verticals, and we have to purchase the whole shuttering material again. So here the property is lost, and The time is lost. Then we had, I mean, personally for me, it was a personal trauma because that was during my early stages of my career. So it was a personal trauma. And good thing is there was no loss of life or no loss of no impact to any human life, let's say. But the trauma was there. That is my personal experience with the fire hazards. Then moving on to the next one. Um, so fire risk assessment, strategizing the fire safety. So we need to identify the potential hazards, okay, where in the sites how we are keeping the materials and which can pose fire risks. So that needs to be identified, that needs to be labeled, that needs to be marked in a proper way, and it needs to be protected in the proper way. The second thing is we need to evaluate, okay, the materials are there, it is stored or but the evaluation of the risk levels, okay, how danger or how easily it can cause the fire. So that we need to evaluate. Based on that, it needs to be taken care in high priority, medium priority, and low priority. That needs to be that risk assessment management has to be done during the construction or after condition. That doesn't matter, but it has to be done. And we need to prioritize based on the frequency and the intensity of the fire hazard which can happen. So these are the three things we need to do, which called fire risk assessment. And based on that fire risk assessment, we need to do the mitigation plan also, and we need to strategize it. Fire prevention strategies like mitigating the fire hazards effectively. So the first thing is education and training. So the regular training program has to be conducted in terms of the construction industry for the laborers or the technicians who are working in the construction industry and the residents who are going to stay in that particular building. Like once they are into the building, frequent fire what we call like the fire safety drills or the mock drills has to be conducted. They need to be trained in a proper way, okay. Even if at all there is any fire accident, what is the quickest path or the evacuation path they need to follow to exit the building at the earliest, which needs to be followed, okay. They cannot use the lift, they need to use the staircase and any assembly point wherein there won't be any further hazards will happen. So those kind of trainings which needs to be given to the people, that is the first thing. Then the proper storage of the flammable materials, yeah, which is already discussed. Regular maintenance of equipment, yeah. So any material, any equipments which has been used in a particular area, the site or the location has to be properly maintained, properly inspected on a regular basis, and it has to be maintained in a proper way to avoid any further fire accidents or the fire hazards which can happen. Even the fire safety equipments as well. So the fire extinguishers which is kept on the, which will be kept in on the floors, needs to be checked on a regular basis. Every 3 months or every 6 months, it has to be properly checked so that in case of any unwanted, unnecessary situations, when we try to use the fire safety equipment, it cannot give further complications. It should not happen to further hazards. So that needs to be well maintained and well checked in advance. Okay, so next we are into the technology part, like role of technology in fire mitigation. So we have our buildings. Okay, especially in Dubai, we have our buildings which is highly using the technology for mitigating the fire. So we are having advanced detection systems like we have the smart sensors, we have a heat sensor, and we have smoke sensor, which is being installed in all the buildings. Then we have automated suppression, that is like the sprinkler systems. It will activate automatically when it reaches the particular temperature or the particular level of smoke which is being done. Enhanced communication, okay, digital communication allows for faster responses. Firefighters can coordinate more effectively. So I will take you through further into these detection systems and the automated separation when I discuss about the drawings which we are currently using here. Fire suppression techniques, water-based systems. Okay, we have fire hydrants, sprinklers, and water cooling and smoothing properties of the extinguisher for fires effectively. Okay, so we have fire hydrants and sprinklers. So fire hydrants has to be used manually when the firefighters come. We have a fire hydrant. They can connect the fire hydrant and they can mitigate the fire. And we have a separate standalone fire pump room which has a tank, and it has full amount of water which cannot be used for any other activities other than the firefighting. So that is a strict rule which is followed here. So each building, based on the height and capacity of the building, the capacity of the fire tanks are being designed. There is a fire tank and there is a fire pump room. So this pump room, this motor, it works with gasoline as well as with the electrical power. So at no circumstances there shouldn't be a case like, okay, we have water, we have pumps, but we cannot operate. So that shouldn't be the case. So we always ensure this fire tank is always full and the fire pumps can be activated at any time. Then we have the sprinklers. So here we use in all areas is like the automated sprinklers. So we have 68-degree sprinkler and 78-degree sprinklers based on the area which is being used. So I'll show you the drawing where it will be clearly mentioned in which area which sprinkler has to be used. So once that sprinkler it reaches the 68-degree or the 78-degree temperature, it will automatically pop up and the sprinkling system will activate, and it will trigger the fire alarm as well, which will trigger the building management system, and that will pass the signal to the Dubai civil defense system. So the firefighters will get the immediate information and they'll be coming to the or reaching to the building immediately. So then we have chemical suppression agents like chemical fire suppressants, including the foam and powder agents, are designed to interrupt the chemical reactions that sustain fires. So in terms of any fire which happened due to any chemical reactions or something, we have a chemical suppression agents. Then fire extinguishers and their uses. So portable fire extinguishers allow the individuals to tackle the small fires quickly with the specific type designed for different classes of fire hazards. So here in Dubai, we have a standard practice in each apartment or in each apartment, as per the government rule, it has to be provided one fire extinguisher and one fire blanket. So this is a rule in Dubai which needs to be provided. There is no leverage on that one. So every unit or every apartment we have a fire extinguisher and a fire blanket. There is a standard which has been followed, and without these things which is not being provided, you will not get the approval from the authority to allow the residents to stay in that particular building. So we need to get the Dubai Civil Defense approval on that. Then emergency response planning, we need to create the emergency plan and we need to train the people and we need to do the evacuation procedures. So first of all, we need to identify the emergency plan. Means if at all uh, there is a fire in a particular building, what is the evacuation plan? What is the best route the people who are staying in that particular building can take to escape from the fire at the earliest? That needs to be during the design stage itself. We need to create that emergency plan and needs to be followed. So I'll show you the drawing where it has which is the evacuation plan and how to how to notify the people this is the evacuation plan, and how to quickly inform them, okay, there is a fire and we need to evacuate the building. So we have a system running up. I'll show you the drawing and I'll explain about that particular one. So there are some drawing references which I have, which has been used in our buildings. Some references I'll not go in much. I'll not take deep into those drawings. Let me show you some drawings. Okay. So the first of all, there is a thing called MEP penetrations. So the concrete will not transfer the fire from one area to another area. It will stop the fire. So concrete is like it will stop the fire. But we have MEP like mechanical, electrical, and plumbing penetrations from one room to another room or from one floor to another floor. That is called MEP penetrations. For example, this is a drainage pipe, okay, which runs from top to bottom, like from if the building is like 25 floors, it will run from ground floor to 25 floors. And in the slab, we have an opening to pass this pipes, which is called MEP penetration, which needs to be properly treated so that if at all for any unforeseen reason, any fire is happened in a particular floor, that should not go to the next floor or the next room. For that, we need to do a proper fire protection or the fire MEP penetration protection. We need to do it so that it cannot go further. So this is a MEP penetration, and I will show you a detail where how we treat this particular condition. So here is the situation. So this is the RCC slab. Yeah. So this is the RCC slab, and this is the shower drain and the MEP downtake pipe, like the plumbing downtake pipe, which is a polypropylene, like a PP silent pipe. Okay. And we have an opening of 200 mm here, and the pipe is passing through, and it goes to one floor to another floor. So here you can see intermittent fire sealant around the pipe. Okay, there is a sealant around the pipe at the joint. So first of all, there is an opening in the slab. Then the downtake pipe is there. It needs to be properly packed with the core packing non-shrink grouting. Okay, there will be a grout. So once the pipe is fixed, then we need to do the grouting. After that, we need to do the fire wrap. So there is a there is a tape which is called fire wrap. So it can contain the fire up to 2 hours. And at the joint, we have a fire intermittent fire sealant, which is applied on the edges, which can again contain the fire up to 2 hours. This is how each penetration is being handled. Each penetration has been taken care in order to avoid the fire which can transport from one area to another area. So each and every MEP penetration has to be treated in such a way so that we can ensure the fire is not transmitted from one floor to another floor. And it has to be done. It is not like, okay, which is a good thing, you can do it so that you can save the people. It is not like that. So here in Dubai, as per the Dubai civil municipality and the civil defense regulations, each and every MEP penetration has to be treated, and there needs to be this sticker. Okay, there is a penetration fire stop system. So this sticker has to be placed for each and every MEP penetration, and it has to be checked and approved by the fire stop company. Only then we can get the approval from Dubai municipality and the civil defense. So it looks like this. Okay, this is the pipe which passes through the slab, and we have a fire is mentioned as fire wrap strip. So this is fire wrap strip, and we have a sealant around the joint which can contain the fire from one floor to another floor. So this is one condition. We are taking more number of as per Dubai government's standards and the regulations. We have more number of standards which needs to follow. I am just showing a couple of examples. One is for the MEP penetrations, which we have seen now, this one, and there is another thing. So here, most of the buildings, or like 90% of the building, which has a facade system in front of their building. So which is like there is a chance it can get fire, it can catch fire. So for that reason, we have a standard detail, which is like in front of the concrete, we have this rock pool, that is a fire barrier, which needs to be installed. Only then the facade can be installed. So even if at all there is any fire in the facade area, it should not travel from one area to another area. So we need to stop the fire at particular level. So for that particular reason, we have a fire barrier, which is like the material is called a rock pool, which needs to be installed, densified, like it is a densified rock pool, which needs to be installed. Okay, this is the concrete. There is a channel. Then we have a fire barrier which has been installed for 125 mm. Then we have the ACP panel. So if at all there is any fire in this cavity, it has to be stopped at particular level. Okay, at one level. It is not like particular level. At one level, if there is a fire in one particular level, it should not travel to another level. So that is the idea behind this particular detail. So this is about the during construction we have these scenarios. It's not the only case. I'm just giving you two example. Then we have here, just giving you another example. So this is one standard apartment layout. So here we have, this is for the fire alarm. We have three legends here. One is addressable smoke detector with built-in isolator base, addressable smoke detector with built-in isolator and loop powered sounder base. Then we have a heat detector. So this is the smoke detector, which is in the bedroom and the living area. And in the kitchen, we have a heat detector. Once there is a particular temperature which is reached in the kitchen area, like it is not normal. So we have kitchen area, it is normally it has some heat, but we have a value, like if it is more than the desired value, I'll tell you the value later. I need to check on that value actually. I'll check and let you know. So this heat detector, once it get the value more than the standard, means the more than the normal value, it automatically signals the fire alarm. So it triggers the fire alarm. It goes to the security panel, and from there it can further taken up. Then we have fire alarm and emergency lighting layout here. This one. So this is for a project here in Dubai. We have recently handed over this particular project. So this is one floor. So we have 10 apartments in this floor, and we have this items marked here. I'll show you the legend. Then we can understand what are the items are being used in particular one floor only for this fire alarm and emergency light. Yeah. So there is a ceiling mounted speaker with a flasher and wall mounted speaker. So it is connected with the building management system. If there is any fire alarm, it will go to this speaker and it will make sound in each floor in front of each apartment actually. Then fire phone, telephone, smart amplifier, fire alarm panel. Then we have the emergency exit display boards. Okay, wherever we have, okay, what is the quickest path which we need to follow in terms of any fire? So that exit has to be shown in a proper way. So we have smoke detectors, different type of smoke detectors and heat detectors. So in each apartment, what are we have a smoke detector in the non-fire areas, let's say, and in the kitchen we have the heat detector. So this is for only for the fire alarm and the emergency lighting layout. In terms of fire, in case of fire, how to contain? So firefighting layout. So if we have the fire, then what are the things? So here we have the sprinkler, half-inch upright sprinkler, which has a 79-degree standard response, and we have a half-inch upright sprinkler with a 68-degree head. So it activates once it reaches 68-degree temperature, and it activates only when it reaches the 79-degree. I think the 79-degree it is for the 79-degree sprinkler. It is for the kitchen, and 68-degree sprinkler. It is for the non-heat or the non-temperature areas. So we have the sprinklers, the ceiling sprinklers, and we have the wall sprinklers, and we have extinguishers placed on the corridors, and we have the fire hose cabinet on each floor, and more on, and more. Yeah. So here the sprinkler heads. We have different type of sprinkler heads. So upright 79-degree standard response sprinklers. It is for the exposed non-air conditioned area, and upright quick response 68-degree sprinkler. It is for the exposed and air conditioned area. Concealed pendant, horizontal side wall. So we have different type of sprinklers which is being installed at different locations based on the authority's standard requirements. So it's not that we decided; it is from the standard codes and rules which has been followed here from the Dubai municipality and the Dubai Civil Defense. And finally, I can show you the drawing for the fire pump room. So this is a standard drawing, or the, let's say for this particular drawing, this particular building, we have a fire pump room at the basement. It has a capacity of okay. So dedicated fire water demand tank 2, which each has 30,000 gallons of water. The standard requirement, or that requirement, it is based on the capacity of the building and the number of floors and the height. Here we have two tanks of 30,000 gallons of water each. And we have the pumps, like one is electrical pump. You can see here. So we have an electric pump and we have a diesel pump. So which is like, okay, at any circumstances, can use both. So if the electrical plus electricity is not there, still we can use the diesel pump for the mitigation of the fires. So some examples I just wanted to show. Then yeah, actually, this is not a standard requirement, but from our company, we have implemented this particular standard for our buildings. So in case of any fire, for each building or each apartment, we need to provide one fire extinguisher and one fire blanket. And it's normally provided in the kitchen area. And in case of any fire, the person or the resident who is residing in that particular apartment should not struggle to find that extinguisher or the fire blanket where it is placed. Because in some of the areas, we are keeping it inside the cabinets. So they should not struggle to find where it has been kept. So for that particular reason, we have implemented a standard like to place this particular sticker on that particular cabinet so that in case of any emergency, the people can easily find and quickly find the fire extinguisher and the fire blanket to control the fire at the earliest. As soon as possible, they identify, they can immediately start acting. So these are some standard practices I wanted to share, which we are following from our company's point of view and in our region, which I wanted to share it with you people. Then any queries?
So, Kirubaran sir, wait, I will enable audio to all. Dear participants, do you have any queries? Audio has been enabled. You can be able to talk with Kirubaran sir. Participants, am I audible?
Yeah, yes, sir.
But participants, if
Sir,
you have
thank
any
you for
queries,
your-
you can unmute your audio and you can talk. Kirubaran sir.
Hello,
Yes.
Kribaran sir.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm Dr. Sivaganesh from Hong Kong.
Hi, sir.
So it was a nice presentation on fire hazards and fire prevention in buildings.
Thank you.
So I would like to know, what are the standards that you have in Dubai or other international, places for steel buildings? Some people think like concrete and steel buildings may have same steel safety standards, sorry, the fire safety standards, but in terms of material, concrete is having higher fire resistance, while steel is kind of they will start uh, losing its stiffness once they get into fire. So what kind of fire safety measures that you have for steel buildings in Dubai?
Yeah, I understand. I understood your question, but unfortunately, I am working more into the residential construction, and we work mostly with only the concrete. Because for the residential buildings, we follow only here concrete. We are not much into this steel construction, not yet actually. But in
Okay.
future, we have plans for the steel construction as well. So yeah, okay, I can find it out. I can get some. I have some references. I can get some information and I can pass it on to you.
Okay, sir. Okay, thank you very much, sir. Thank you. Okay.
Thank you. Sir.
Any other participants? If you have any queries, you can unmute your audio and you can have a discussion with Kirubaran sir.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Sir, is there any safety code we have earthquake resistance code, etc. in India? Like you have said that in Dubai, these are the uh, um, precautions measure that has to be taken. But in India, I have seen lots of the residential building do not have any safety for the fire disaster. Is there any codal provision in India also?
Yeah, I think there must be a fire safety or fire protection code in India which needs to be followed during the construction, as well as like once it has been handed over to the residents. There needs to be a fire safety code, uh, but I need to check on that code because I'm working here for last 10 years. So I am not much into this in construction. I'll check and I'll come back to you on this.
Okay, okay, sir.
I'll provide the details.
Any other participants? Do you have any more queries? Kirbaran sir,
Yeah.
I have
Yes, sir.
one question.
Yes, sir.
In India, we are using NBC, National Building Code.
Yes, sir.
Likewise, what's the code you are following in the Dubai? And one more question: what are the improvements is necessary in India regarding these fire accidents to avoid these fire accidents?
Okay. So in terms of the fire safety codes, we normally use in drawings it is mentioned. It's according to the DIN standards and US standards. So we are using the DIN code and the US code, and I'll give you the exact code for you. But before that, for the next thing, like the improvements which needs to be done in terms of Indian buildings, the buildings in India. So the first thing here, what we are using is a very basic thing, like the fire extinguisher and the fire blanket, which is provided in each apartment. So that is important. So in terms of any, okay, the kitchen fires can happen at any time. So we cannot control that particular thing because it is purely upon the individuals. If they are not attending to their cookings, what they are doing it, or the clothes what we are normally wear, so it can take to the fire accidents. It can lead to the fire accidents. So, but it can be solved or it can be controlled immediately if there is a option for fire extinguisher or the fire blanket which is available at your hand stretch. So that needs to be ensured at the first level. For that only, we have implemented this standard. It's not our standard actually. So it is Dubai government standard that we need to provide this extinguisher and fire blanket in each apartment. And we have implemented the standard for giving this sticker. Okay, so we have provided it, but where to find it? So some people they will not easily find it. So for that thing, we have introduced this sticker from our side, so they can reach it at any time, means easily and quickly. Then the second thing is we are using the latest or the very important things that is our detection systems. So we have the sensors. So in each apartment we have a smoke detector and heat detector. That can be included. That can be incorporated or installed in each building, so that in case of any fire or something, they can immediately it can trigger the alarm immediately, so the people can act quickly. So that is the first thing because so we are moving into the residential means high-rise apartment, high-rise buildings as of now. So we are into the uh, what we can call like the dense population, but nobody knows who is living next to each other. So once the apartment is locked, nobody knows who is living inside. So if something is happened in that particular apartment, no other residents or the neighbors also will not come to know what has happened inside. So if there is any fire, that has to be notified immediately to the neighbors. So for that thing, we need this Sensors, even if the people are not there and some electrical equipment is fault and it catch fire. So the unoccupied apartments also, if there is a sensor, it can immediately notify the other people and immediately notify the building security. So that has to be improved. So that sensor has to be installed in all the apartments or all the units so that it can notify the security immediately and he can act quickly. And the third thing is our suppression, automated suppression. So okay, once the fire is there, so it has triggered the alarm, then the building security can act. But the thing is, we are moving into the high-rise building. So how far we can reach to the higher level? So if we have the automated suppression, like the automated sprinklers, when it reaches the particular temperature, it can open up and it can start spreading. It can start pouring the water. Then it can control the fire hazards to, like, it cannot spread much. Okay, it can be controlled at a particular region so that the firefighters have some time so that when they reach it, they can control the other areas. So these are the basic things which can incorporated, which can be included in our Indian building construction, which will save lot of money and lot of people in case of any accidents. That's my suggestion.
Yes, thank you, Kriparan sir, for your nice explanation about that. Dear participants, do you have any more queries? Participants, if you have any more queries, you can ask. Participants,
No, sir.
Hi, good evening.
yes, sir, you can go again. Sir, you can go again with your queries. I think, Kriparan sir, there is no more queries.
Okay,
Yeah.
I hope I
just a
was
minute, sir.
clear.
Yeah. Dear participants, as the today's first session on fire hazards, impact and mitigation is kept to end. A very nice presentation by Engineer A. Kirubagaran, Senior Manager, Shobha Realty LLC, Dubai. Thank you very much, sir, for accepting our invitation. In spite of your busy schedule, you have given your valuable lectures on the fire safety, and similarly, you have compared our Indian as well as the Dubai, and in bin where the fire equipments can be placed, and what are the types of the charts can be prepared. Like that, you have explained very clearly. Thank you very much for your nice presentation.
Thank you. Pleasure is mine.
Dear sir,
Thanks for the opportunity, actually. Thanks for the opportunity.
thank you. So on behalf of K.S.Rangasamy College of Technology, Department of Civil Engineering, I once again thank you, the engineer Kirubagaran, for spending his valuable time with us. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank
Dear
you all.
participants,
Yeah. Yes, sir. Go ahead. Go ahead.
dear participants, you stay back in this link. After 10 minutes, we will start our next session. The next section will be handled by Dr. S. Sivaganesh from Hong Kong Polytechnic University, Hong Kong, on the topic concept of disaster management and vulnerability. Hope the guest has been joined. Sir, we will start at a 10 minutes break, sir.
Okay, sir. Okay, we can start after 10 minutes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Kirvaram, sir, you can log off.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you to
thank
all
you.
the
Thank you,
participants.
sir.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Sivaganesh sir.
Yes, sir.
Sir, PPT share ஆகுதான்னு check பண்ணிக்கலாம் sir.
Okay, sir. Okay. You have given access to me.
Yes sir, I have given access to you sir. I made you as a presenter.
Sure. One second.
Yes sir, slide share ஆகுது sir. Screen share ஆகுது sir.
Okay, sir. Can you see me slides?
Yes sir, I can see your slide sir. Yeah, it's moving
Okay.
also sir.
Yes, sir. That's
Yes, sir.
fine. Okay, sir.
Sir, after
I'll
5 minutes we will
after-
start officially sir.
Yes. Okay. Thank you.
Dear participants, wait in the same link. We will start within 5 minutes.